Today we are going to finish section 2 of chapter 3. We already learned how to solve a system of equations by doing elimination. Today we're going to do substitution. Substitution students usually like better, so hopefully you do too. So with the substitution method, it's a method used to find the intersection point of two lines in the same coordinate plane. So that's the same definition of elimination. The instances where you use substitution is a little bit different. Substitution is best used when a variable has a coefficient of 1. So if there's a 1 in front of the x or the y, just any of the four of them, it can be used. It can be used in other situations as well, but it's not really ideal. So you don't need to write any of that slide down. Okay, these are the steps for solving using substitution. So this slide you do need to write down. There are 5 steps and all of them are important. So you can pause your video or something to write these down, but I'm not going to read through them. We're just going to apply them to examples. So our first example here, it says solve by substitution. So I have y equals 3x minus 5 and 4x plus 2y equals 10. So step 1 on the step sheet says to find an equation that looks like this, x equals or y equals. So I know that I have that because the top equation is y equals 3x minus 5. So I can go ahead and move on to step 2. It says circle everything after the equal sign. So I'm going to circle 3x minus 5, and that is the blob. Okay, step 3 says to substitute the blob into the other equation for the variable equals. So this says y equals, so I'm going to take this blob and I'm going to plug it in for y in the bottom equation. And then it says solve, so it's going to be 4x plus 2, and then my blob, 3x minus 5, equals 10. And then I need to solve. So I need to distribute this 2 to everything inside the parentheses. So I've got 4x plus 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10 equals 10. I need to combine like terms. 4x plus 6x is 10x. And then I'm just solving for x, so I need to add 10 to both sides. 10 plus 10 is 20. And then divide both sides by 10. X equals 2. Okay, then step 4 says substitute your answer from step 3 into the blob equation to solve for the other variable. So now I'm going to take x equals 2, and I'm going to plug it in for x in my blob. So I've got y equals 3 times 2 minus 5. And I need to solve that. 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 minus 5 is 1. And then just like when we are solving with elimination, we need to write our answer as an ordered pair. So my ordered pair is going to be 2, 1. Next example, I have 4x plus y equals 5 and x minus 2y equals 8. So step 1 says find an equation that looks like x equals or y equals. If you don't see one, you'll have to solve one equation for x or y. So this example does not have the blob set up for us, so we need to make a blob. And in the top equation, I could use y. In the bottom equation, I could use x. So you can really use whichever one you want. It makes no difference. I'm going to use x just for something different. So I'm going to add 2y to both sides. So now I've got x equals 2y plus 8. So I'm going to circle everything after the equal sign. That's my blob, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to plug it in for x in the top equation. So usually students do well with finding the blob. They do well with identifying it, but they mess up because they plug it in for the wrong variable. So this is x equals. You have to make sure you're plugging it in for x. Don't plug it in for y or it's going to mess everything up. Okay, so I've got 4 times the blob, which is 2y plus 8, plus y equals 5. Same step as last time, I need to take whatever's outside of the parentheses and distribute it. 4 times 2y is 8y. 4 times 8 is 32. And now I look to see if there's any like terms I can put together. 8y plus y is 9y. And subtract 32 from both sides. 9y equals negative 27. And divide by 9. Y equals negative 3. Okay, and then I need to take that and plug it into my blob. So I've got x equals 2 times negative 3 plus 8. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And negative 6 plus 8 is 2. And then I need to write my ordered pair. Make sure you put the x term first. So 2 comma negative 3. Okay, next example, x plus 6y equals 2 and 5x plus 4y equals 36. So I look to see if there's a blob set up for me. There is not. So now I need to find a variable with a 1 in front of it, and I've only got one option, so that's this first x here. So I need to subtract 6y from both sides. So x equals negative 6y plus 2. And then I can circle that, and that is my blob. And then I need to take that and plug it into the other equation for x. So then I'm going to have 5 times negative 6y plus 2 plus 4y equals 36. And whatever's outside parentheses needs to be distributed. So 5 times negative 6y is negative 30y. 5 times 2 is 10. And combine like terms. Negative 30y plus 4y is negative 26y. And subtract 10 from both sides. 36 minus 10 is 26. Divide by negative 26. Y equals negative 1. And that variable gets plugged into the blob. So I've got x equals negative 6 times negative 1 plus 2. Negative 6 times negative 1 is positive 6. And 6 plus 2 is 8. And my final answer is, as an ordered pair, is 8 comma negative 1. And your homework for this section can be found on Google Classroom.